All right, I think it's going. It says the connection is good. Okay, cool. Whatever. I guess I'm going. I think. Okay, I'm going. So, how do I want to start this off? I don't know. I never do lives on YouTube, guys, so give me a little grace and mercy. Welcome to this video. My name is Infiniti. So if you're new here, I'm the face, the voice, and the hands behind all the content here under Infiniti Crafting Co. And if you're not new here and you're returning, welcome. Welcome to this new experiment that I'm trying. Today is a super special day for me and for the channel because today is my Channelversary. So I have officially been at this for 3 years now, and it's been fun. So I thought that today I would mix it up a little bit by going live, which is something, like I said, I never do on YouTube. I'm a little bit shy when it comes to doing live streams, but especially on my YouTube channel, because I never quite know what to say, you know, and that's the one thing that I like about when I do my channel chats and I record them on my regular camera wherever I put them today. Is that I get to go back and I get to kind of, you know, shorten things out and get rid of some of those ums and like when I trail off or forget about my words. But anyway, today's going to be a fun day. So right now, right, what is wrong? Ooh, buffering. This is so weird. I have no idea what I'm doing with this streaming thing. It just said it was okay and now it's not okay. But anyway, we're gonna go forward with this. So the funny thing about my channel is that, you know, it just basically formed from me goofing off during a semester. And you know, the fact that I've been able to just kind of sit back over the last few years and share either my art stuff in the early days or share my my crochet and knitting knowledge more so than anything else over the last 3 years has been really amazing. It's been a really interesting experience. When I first started out, I wanted to do something big, but I wasn't quite sure what form that would take. And to be honest, when I first hit record, I never actually thought, you know, that I would end up, you know, years later down the line, like, enjoy doing what I'm doing. Because I was I am a complete introvert, and I just, you know, I didn't really like the idea of, you know, knowing that a bunch of people were going to see me online and that I would talk on camera and things like that. And now I'm more or less comfortable with that, more or less. And it's really been an interesting and fun transition to see. Sometimes I sit back and I watch my old stuff and I cringe and I'm like, wow, I'm not that bad anymore. So, you know, it's the little things. But yeah, so I basically, when I started this channel, I was goofing off. You know, I was bored and I didn't really, you know, feel like I was learning anything from that specific semester of classes at the specific location I was going to. And so I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna goof around on the internet. And it was funny because at the time I was sitting back and I was planning and I was, well, building my website. I just started building my website actually that summer. So I think it was like June-ish, July-ish when I started building my blog. And, you know, I'm glad that I didn't have the ability to publish that blog back then, because there's a lot of stuff that I've done to it over the 3 years. That year I also started listing my patterns on Etsy. I think I had like 1 or 2 patterns over on Ravelry when I was on it. And then I moved over to Etsy and I had a few patterns over there and I was kind of sharing them around and I was doing okay-ish, I guess. I was just kind of having fun experimenting with what works and what doesn't work. And, you know, I've kind of figured out what does and doesn't work, and then at the same time I haven't, because stuff changes so quickly on the internet. But anyway, you know, it was a really weird beginning. I started off, and I almost did today's video live stream thing on my floor down here, in front of one of my yarn shelves, but I said forget that. My floors are concrete and I don't like getting off of them, so I like to spare my knees. But for those of you guys who don't know or maybe haven't been around as long, I used to do all my videos like in my little bedroom in front of my bookshelf, and that was my little yarn craft corner. And now I have this whole room space over here, which I talk about in some past videos, but I have this whole room now where I can stash all my yarn and sit at a table like a human being and do all my videos and tutorials. And so that shift has been really cool too, because that actually has only happened within the last year and a half, almost 2 years now. So that's really that's been a really great thing. It's really comfortable to do my tutorials now and all that. But I'm rambling. I am rambling. I have been knitting and crocheting a lot lately, which on one hand it shouldn't be a surprise, but on the other hand I've actually been making more progress, which I guess that's why it seems like, you know, shocking to me, because I've actually been finishing stuff and casting things off. What was the last thing I finished? The last thing I finished was the Forager Shrug, which is nowhere to be found right now. But I did that pattern duo and I just released it on my blog, so there is a free and paid version of that. But then I've been working on these other little side projects, like I'm doing a couple of corner to corner tutorials. I did do the rectangle one. I did that one recently. So there's another one that's coming later this month, and I'm working on a project for that, and it's actually coming along quite nicely. And at first I wasn't sure. I thought I was just going to do like a scrap thing with it, but the more I worked with it, the more I decided, hey, I want to use this same color of yarn, like this. Let me see. Yeah, the same variegated yarn. I'm really liking this color combination. I almost wanted to add white to it, but I don't know. Maybe if I find my scrap white, I feel like I have a scrap ball of white over at my actual desk. So I might try to unearth that and blend it in here somewhere, maybe make a couple of squares white, and then the rest of it I would continue with this camel color and this super rainbowy color that I use for my airways shawls. I actually made myself one. I don't know if I ever showed it off, but I made myself my own because I absolutely love that colorway. It's just so vibrant and bright and fun. It's actually Red Heart Roll With It tweed. I fell in love. It's called Crayons. And it's probably what I called the colorway when I put it on my website, but I don't remember at the moment. So I'm slowly working on that crochet project, and that's actually my only crochet whip that I have going on right now. And it's so interesting. This year has been like a whole year of knitting things. Right now, I just cast this on the other day because I wanted to make myself a birthday garment. If you've been around for a while, like my OG channel members will probably maybe remember the Joseph sweater that I made way back in, that was 2018. So I made it in like June of 2018 with this very colorful but discontinued wool blend yarn from Lion Brand. It was called Colorscapes, I think, or Color Wave or something like that, but I used the most vibrant one that I could find, and if I knew exactly where it was, I would grab it. But it's so loud and fun, and I really just enjoy walking into a space with it on. I don't wear anything else but like black when I have it on because it's that bright. And you know, funny enough, I didn't get a chance to wear it when I was doing my observations, especially like with the elementary kids, so I know they would have gotten a kick out of it. I was observing with like kindergarten kids. For those of you guys who don't know, I'm an art education major, so, well, yeah, I'm in school for teaching. And so anyway, I thought it was fitting for like an art teacher, student person to have like a really colorful garment. And one day I thought about it, and I'm like, I started thinking about the Magic School Bus, and I'm like, am I gonna be like Miss Frizzle with my outfits? I don't know, but this is gonna be kind of like that shirt top almost sweater thing that I made for the 4th of July this year. It was completely knit entrelac. Well, I have found another way of stitching up that, and I've actually meant to write down that pattern way back when I was making it. That's usually how I write my pattern. So like while I'm sitting there making the thing, I'm writing down my progress or process so that I can either type it up, or I either just like type it up so that it's almost done, and then I go back and I test it, and then I end up releasing them eventually. So I went back, I found my old notes, and I was like, there's a better way to do the ribbing down here, because the first one I did, I actually attached the ribbing after I knitted the panels, and I'm like, there's no need for all that. Why don't we just make it all one piece? So that's what I'm doing. So this is the front panel. I cast on in black because, like, in my head, right, the idea seemed really great when I was coming up with this this end of the year project. However, I cast on this black yarn and I almost instantly regretted it, and I'm like, now, do I need to work over here with this where it's super bright, or can I get away with working with it at my desk? And I think I can get away with doing either or. It's just a matter of my eyes adjusting to the black yarn. But this black is dark. Like, some blacks are different than others, but I find that the Lion Brand Pound of Love, which is what I'm using, is super, super dark. Like, super dark. And so, hi, welcome to the stream. I don't usually cast on or crochet with a lot of black stuff just because of how dark it is and my eyes and all that. But some people don't have issue with it. I sometimes do, sometimes I don't. But I am mixing the black Lion Brand Pound of Love with my Ferris wheel. I bought two skeins of this for this personal project, but I don't know. It might stretch. I don't know. It might stretch. I might need to buy more. Who knows? But I have barely been enjoying that. And then there's this one project that I've been working on since apparently March. It's another fun thing. I mark and date my projects when I write them down, just so I know how long I've been working on them. So that's why when I give these dates, I'm like, look guys, it's been a minute. But this project I cast on like March 8th, and this is all I've got. I bought this Jubilee Ombre Blast yarn way back when. It was probably February when I ordered it, but I ordered this and I was like, ooh, it's so bright, it's so pretty. And like I've told other people, with this yarn that's like thin like this, they trick you, okay, because of all the yardage you get. You can actually get a decent project out of one cake of the yarn. And so, you know, I started working with the yarn even though it was super thin, and like I made that crochet top that I did over the summer. I did it with a thin yarn like that, and it was perfect for that project. But I'm like, do I really want to sit up and make a bunch of projects with thin yarn? So this is actually a whip that I don't plan on bringing back out or showing off really until probably next year, just because I have a bunch of other stuff. So I'm almost always writing patterns, right? I have like 1, 2, 3. I have 3 patterns right now that I'm, no, 4 that I'm working on, and some of them are more pressing than others because they're specifically winter patterns, and then other ones I can kind of hold off on or whatever, and some of them I already have written up. So, you know, I'm always like a cloud of ideas, and, you know, I guess that's part of the drive behind the channel. I like pushing my creativity out there, and I guess that's also the fun part, you know, about doing YouTube and being a creator and all that. I get to just talk endlessly about my creation process and the different stuff that I make, and I'm not the weird one, right? Because in my friend group, I'm the only one that does this, the yarn thing, as some people call it, and like you can tell like when their eyes are glassing over, you know. So I'm like, I try not to bore people with my enthusiasm for yarn, but that's what I think is fun about just doing these channel chats and doing the whole YouTube thing or whatever. But it's really hard to believe it's been 3 years, and like in the past, not only was I too shy to like come on and be like, you know, this is my anniversary, right? You know, I also didn't have a lot to say because I just didn't, you know. Now I've been on and I've created a lot of content. My channel has like 300 something videos, I think, and you know, have a lot of written work out there. My blog, coincidentally, will have 300 posts on it as of like 2 o'clock when the like the after post live thing posts. I don't have good words, guys. This is why I do mostly videos where I can edit, where I talk. But yeah, so you know, it's really, I don't know, it's been a really interesting experience, and like I said, I've learned a lot, like as far as, you know, how to get my content seen per se. Also like what people do and don't like, and I've also learned a lot about my craft in general, like with new stitches and techniques and things like that. And something really interesting that I'm going to expound upon in a later channel chat is I've discovered or rediscovered, you know, my knitting technique is not so abnormal. So I found out recently that the way that I knit is actually called combination knitting. And that made my whole day to see other people knit like I knit and not feel weird about it. Because that's actually been something that, you know, I've been a little like self-conscious about over the last several years, because I always get like, oh, you knit weird. I'm like, no, I don't. And so when I found this video, I found several videos that were actually talking about it, and the way that they create their stitches is how I create mine. So that was just, you know, one of those moments where I was reconnecting with the craft, like, yes. So if you guys knit like I knit, it's called combination knitting. So if somebody gets like persnickety and they're just like, you knit weird and don't knit like that, and you can be like, it's called combination knitting, and just do your hair flip and walk away, because it's a normal thing. But yeah, so I'm enjoying this project. I really like entrelac. It's really rhythmic and I get into it clearly a lot. It's a more advanced technique, and I was gonna do a tutorial on it at some point this fall, so stay tuned for that. I have a lot of stuff planned, and sometimes it's just a matter of getting around to it, because I am in school and trying to like work around my schedule and all that fun stuff. Sometimes things just don't get gotten to. So this other project, this is my like fourth whip, right? So I have it in a plastic bag because it's wool, and I started it. I had a grand idea for it. It was gonna have cables on it. Wait, it does have cables on it. Hey, okay. So it has cables on it, but I was thinking more so like in the center I was going to like do some kind of entrelac working, and I might not, right? Get that to work, because I've had to rip this back a couple of times. But this is actually the makings of a pocket shawl, and I found my own little weird way of connecting my pocket, and it looks nice, so I'm excited for that. This is using that Woolies Thick and Quick that I was talking about in my last Joann's haul, and it is so soft and squishy to work with. I am using like a combination of cables and like fisherman's rib and God knows what else. But later on in this, I hope that I can finish it by the time I want to finish it. I think I'm supposed to like finalize everything maybe in November, but this is definitely something that I'm enjoying, and it's in one piece, which was exciting for me when I was doing the connection process. It has a nice big pocket, so, and it's on the inside of the work. I don't know. I've been learning a lot of different techniques, like with the Mountain Forager Shrug that I just released. I learned how to do an applied pocket over the summer, because I was still working on this project over the summer, and I was like, huh, that's interesting. And so like actually putting the what I learned to the actual fabric was really cool for me. Hi from the UK. Do I teach? I don't teach yet, Kim. I don't teach yet. I am still in school for teaching. So YouTube is as far as I go with the whole teaching thing right now, and I'm really enjoying that. But whenever I do get into school, art is definitely going to be what I teach, because it, like, I don't know, when it comes to school and stuff, I was always like the really academic type, and I kind of flourished, but like there were a lot of my classmates and friends that were just like, you know, they didn't, not necessarily, it's not that they didn't care for school, but it's like you could tell that like there was none of their classes that was like really inspiring them. And so, you know, when I do get in my classroom, I do want to be that teacher that just like makes the kids feel like, you know, hey, this is a fun place to be and I want to learn things. So yeah, Not that you asked. Thank you. But yeah, so those are my 4 projects that I'm working on. I think that's all of them I'm working on. I have more that are planned, and the days are running together, so some of them I think are blending together in my head. I also have to get around to making my winter set, because every year I've committed to just making myself a different set for winter, and I haven't gotten around to that yet. I think I'm going to use that giant mandala bundle that I got a few months ago because I really like that colorway. I made long scarves, hat scarf sets last year with that color, and I fell in love with them. Hi, welcome to the stream. Yeah, no, what was I thinking? This is another reason why I just kind of, stay behind the camera, because I always lose trail. But yeah, no, I really liked that chimera color from the mandala line, so I'm going to make myself a set with that colorway. I think it goes really well with my skin tone. So what else do I want to talk about? Because like I never plan my videos when I talk, like there's a general theme, but then I go off. So if you guys have questions for me, I'd love to answer them for you. Let me see. Like I have these behind me, and so I'm planning on doing a little tutorial with my Centro knitting machine. And yeah, this was actually supposed to be posted back in March, I want to say, but life happens. So I just kind of kept putting the project to the side and putting it to the side, and then I'm like, you know what, it's getting cold outside now, so, or it's going to get cold outside now, so it's probably a really good time to do these tutorials. So I'm kind of bringing those back as well. And I also just kind of ran out of ideas when it came to the Centro. Like, don't get me wrong, you can make a bunch of stuff on there, but like my brain cells right now just haven't thought of any other additional projects per se. So I try to also come in with like the troubleshooting stuff, because a lot of people get frustrated with the knitting machines in general. I did make these with the Centro, and the fun part is the heel is crocheted, because like I've seen where people have like the mini Addy and they've made the socks on there and they actually knitted the heel, but I couldn't get with that. So I just did a little 4-row heel on there, and that was that. And I did a double strand of it was called the Crochet socks yarn. It's by Patons, and I just doubled it up and cranked it through the machine, and it worked really well. I need to update that blog too, because I have a little running list of fibers that work with it. How long? I have been knitting. So I started crocheting like 9 years ago now, and knitting was not my friend. So it took me like 2 years to get into that, and so I've been knitting for like 7 years. Yeah, I'm actually a crocheter first, which comes across, I think, when I do my knitting. Like I said, when I found out that there was an actual name for how I knit, I was elated. Combination knitting, they call it. It's really cool too, because they use that method to like knit faster. So I guess technically I knit a little bit quicker. Still a slow process though. So yeah, I also had this idea the other day because I was back and forth between my desk and my studio. I call this space my studio. So I had an idea, and I bought some flash drives for taking my stuff back and forth, and they sent me like this 4-pack, right? So here I am with like 3 extra flash drives, and I'm like, it would be a really fun idea, since my Channelversary is coming up, I thought it would be a really fun idea to put like all my patterns on a couple of jump drives and like give them away. Yeah, no, definitely. That was very confusing. The lady had an Addy, and I kept looking at the tutorial, because I'm visual sometimes, and I'm just like, that just looks complicated. So I was like, nope, we're just gonna forego that and put crochet on. And that's a fun thing about with like my knitting designs, and because I was a crocheter first, A lot of times I will add just a tad bit of crochet just to make my ends meet with those patterns. It's just easier, I think, to grab a hook or something and stitch up where you need to stitch. It's like usually crochet additions. I mean, like single crochet additions, because the heel is just like 4 rows of single crochet, and then I slip stitch them together. Super easy. But yeah, I already have it filmed, which is the good part. So now it's just a matter of putting all those tutorials together, you know. And that's what takes a lot of time too when it comes to putting out content, you know, is you sit up and you do all these recordings and frames and things, and then you just sit back and you look at it. It's like, I should have done that, you know, much more condensed fashion, right? Because like one video I did, it had 22 frames, and it took me like 2.5 hours to sit up and edit that out. It was terrible, but you know, I got it done eventually. But yeah, you know, and the funny thing is, like, I used to have a really great upload schedule. Thanks. I used to have a really great upload schedule, and this was also back when I wasn't quite as busy. Like, I was busy in general. Like, I was working 2 jobs and going to school and volunteering at the time. So, I guess I was busier, but somehow I had more time to sit back and edit stuff and schedule stuff. So, I had stuff flowing every single week, and I never missed a Sunday or a Wednesday. But, like, within the last couple of years, stuff has been so weird and different. Sometimes I just have holes in my upload schedule, and it's been something that, like, I try to stay consistent with it still, but sometimes I just have to let go and be like, you know what, no tutorial today, and I'll try to put out blog posts when I don't have video content, because it's like, I gotta put something out there. But, oh, okay, so I was talking about the pattern thing. The blog thing reminded me about that. So I set up, and I went through all my finalized patterns, right? And I found where, yes, yes, yes. I was having a hard time. Oh, I'm glad that I could help with the Centro thing. Yeah, you know, that was something I found that when I got my machine, there weren't a lot of tutorials for the knitting machines in general, especially that machine, and the written instructions in the box, they were awful. So I was like, you know, once I get a hang of this, I'm gonna help other people because I know I'm not the only one struggling. So I'm so glad that I could help you, Rianne. I hope I pronounced your name right. So USB flash drives, I had extra ones. I put all my finalized patterns on a couple of them. So I found out that I actually have 30 patterns out there in the world somewhere. And that's really cool because I didn't think I had that many. So that was fun to learn. But anyway, I put all 30 of them on these drives, and I'm going to end up recasting these little medallions because this one's actually messed up. But I'm going to do a little giveaway on my blog, and I'll put it in the description box once the stream is over because I can't actually edit it right now. But yeah, I'm going to give out to my community, and so I'll have details on how to sign up for that over there on the blog. It's just easier to write that stuff out. And of course, you know, the social media platforms have nothing to do with my giveaway. It's completely sponsored by me. So, fun disclaimer over. But yeah, so, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I never really know what to say beyond like maybe 20 or 30 minutes unless it's something that's like, I don't know, super in depth, or I don't know, something I can expound upon. So yeah, and you know, I was thinking like with this entrelac sweater that it would be considerably different from the one that I posted over the 4th of July holiday. So it's not going to be quite the same style, and I just hope I can finish it by my birthday. It would be super great because I want to take pictures in it. Let me see. Do you guys have more questions for me? Oh yeah, sure. So my patterns are available on my website, and I update that shop more than I update my Etsy. So I do still have my pattern shop on Etsy as well, but it's not up to date like the one on my website is. And that's always linked in my description box. So weird. Okay. There are so many buttons behind these live screen panels, and I just want to kind of press them all. Like the inner child in me wants to just press them all, but I have no idea what they'll be doing. But yeah, so I don't know. No problem. No problem at all. So let's see. I said that, and that. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say, I guess. I don't know. This is kind of fun for a first stream, though, I think. Because, like, usually when I do live streams, I'll do them on Instagram, but Instagram's so, I don't know. I guess with the way the algorithm runs, right? Like, not that many people have been seeing where my streams come in. And so it's like, you know, I'll talk for a little while, maybe like 30 minutes, and then I'll disappear. But yeah. Like I said, this is my first one on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, I have a lot of new faces here on YouTube. I know just about a month ago or something, I was saying, woo, 4,000. Now I'm almost at 4,500 people. And it's crazy because, again, like I said at the beginning, I never really expected this to be like a huge thing, you know, or a large scale thing, but it's growing that way. And I'm always happy. I'm always surprised to see just, you know, how many people tag along with me and my tutorials. But it was really funny because the other day I was sitting back and I was thinking about it, and like literally this time last year I was just hitting that 1,000 subscriber mark, and now I have like 3.5 times that, and I think that is so cool. So, you know, I want to keep making lots of content for just the future, you know. Thank you. Yeah. And then I actually wonder how many of my followers like to crochet versus the knitting thing. Like sometimes I sit back and I try to plan and see like what content needs to go out there more, you know. I try, like I said, I try with the Centro thing, but there's only so many ideas, and then like with as far as like troubleshooting and maintenance and stuff, I've been totally unable to do the maintenance thing because I cannot take mine apart. All right, Kim, thanks for dropping by. They just get that in my face. I don't know. Anyway, so you know, I don't know. I think a lot of my subscribers are crocheters. I think, but then again, you know, I just don't know. Maybe there's a good healthy blend of them. I have no idea. And do you guys like ever feel like, you know, you just have to move or work with your hands? Because I find that happening to me a lot, where I'll be sitting there and I'll either be editing something, or like now I'm just kind of untangling or fidgeting with my yarn for no reason. I take my crafts everywhere I go, so you know, I guess I just kind of have gotten used to doing stuff with my hands all the time. And I guess that's also why I got into art school as well, just because, you know, I have to work with my hands. Something I personally enjoy. I don't know if it's like a common thing or what, but that is me. Let me see. Do I have anything else coming up that I should be talking about? Because I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. All right. So this is kind of fun for a first stream, and I think I'm gonna cut this here, and that new blog post is going to go live at 2. So if you want to enter to win my little pattern thumb drive, you can. Like I said, it's going to be my whole collection. So I have 20 crochet patterns. I have 9 knitting patterns, and then I have 1 Tunisian crochet pattern. And these are both my free and paid patterns. And then I think I also put a copy of my little e-booklet on this thumb drive. So I have 2 of them to give away. You can check that out over on my blog, like I said, at 2 o'clock. And guys, I will see you guys next time. Maybe I'll do another live again in the future. You have to let me know if this is something that you want, and maybe we can like bring up community topics or something to talk about, and I'll just come on and chat about it then. But alright, everybody, have a great day. Be blessed. Have a blast making up your crafts, and I will see you guys next time.